Hello, and blessed full moon in Aquarius. I wanted to read today from a book that I've been using all year, and it is a date book. And this is not my information, but it comes from Llewellyn's Witch's Date Book. And I got to tell you, this is a great little book to keep track of all the key events that are occurring astrologically with our moons. And then they always have really cool little rituals or things that you can do during these moons. So I wanted to read this one today. And this is under the full moon Saturn Aquarius air moon that we're experiencing today at 10:36 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So adjust accordingly to where you're from, but it is a 6-degree Aquarius moon. And we know Aquarius is led by Saturn and Uranus. Saturn bringing those structures, Uranus bringing the unique, above to below, sky, God, energy of the internet, of technology, of great change and revolution and innovation. So the 11th house, therefore, that Aquarius rules, is where we find our gifts, our talents that have been expressed out into the world, where we find legacy, and where we send and interrelate and place our energy and mix with the greater collective from a very personal space, because the polarity always is important to look at. In Aquarius would be Leo, and he rules the 5th house and is masculine energy ruled by the sun. And so this polarity is important to recognize. And the poles have just shifted nodes. North Node, Rahu, Dragon's Head into Aquarius, and South Node, Ketu, Dragon's Tail into Leo. So we're being asked collectively, and then personally, wherever this shows up in your chart, to be looking at the North Node and Pluto and Aquarius as well. So boy, we've got some energy going on here with the full moon releasing this Aquarian, we the people energy of the collective, of where we come out. Now, to make this personal, where's your moon hitting? And where is this energy wanting to be expressed outward to the greater collective? So she says here, in her book, through Brandon Weston. So she didn't say this, I should say. Actually, Brandon said it, but she places it in her book. So calendar, she says, capture the psychic powers of the Aquarius full moon using Ozark knot magic. Begin with a 2-piece of blue string or yarn. Take your string outside at nighttime underneath the full moon. You must be able to see the moon for this ritual. On the leftmost end of the string, begin a knot, but don't pull it closed yet. Hold the string so that you can see the full moon through the loop made from the unfinished knot. As you look at the moon, pull the knot tight. Continue left to the right for 2 more knots, a total of 3. When you're finished, smoke the knot using camphor resin or an incense, charcoal, or dried mugwort or herb. Keep the string underneath your pillow to aid in divinatory dreams and trances. The power of the string amulet will be at its highest on Aquarius moon days and full moons after the consecration. Recharge the amulet with camphor or mugwort smoke on the full moon. Brandon Weston. Now, I don't know who Brandon is, but I certainly am going to be doing this evening. And I think that it's pretty cool how, he mentions using certain herbs, but more than likely you don't have those around, but you might have another herb. You might have something you work with that calls to you. And I just, would say use that. And make sure that you do have a cleansing, though. You have something that is smoking that amulet that you made. And I thought it was also really neat the way that he talked about putting it under your pillow. And other people have talked about doing this, and I've done this with tarot cards, and I have found it to really be very powerful. So underneath this Aquarius moon and our moon knots, may our world be propelled forward as Pluto is in Aquarius. The node is in Aquarius, the North Node, Rahu, where we are now looking through more humanitarian lenses. We are sending out our heartfelt. Leo, the polarity, rules the heart. And we are speaking through our heart and sending air, intellectual energy for the world to see. So let us see you release, come out, and share what this moon means to you and where it's hitting your chart at 6 degrees in the first decan, by the way. So this is a young moon, not a mature moon. And with it conjunct that stellium of everything else happening in Aquarius, I really think it's a very important time to pull away from everything and sit individually, like by yourself, and ask the questions, where can I best come from my heart-centered space, in my creativity, in my deep passion and love, and where my loyalty lay, where my leadership lay, and how can I come out into the collective now for such a time as this in a way that best suits who I am. And what I love about astrology, when I discovered it at deep levels and began to go in and saw the cycles and the rhythm and the rhyme of the planets and the meanings and the archetypes they represent, I was able to make more sense, because how this works, I do not know, but very synchronistically, the storyline of my chart is the storyline of my life and how it occurred before I even understood astrology. And it continues to guide, but it does not rule in the place of it being my master and being something that is taken out of context and used in a way where it consumes instead of leads and guides. And, we have to be careful with that. So I just want to say, super excited. It's a great time to be alive. Yes, life has challenges, but I think we were made for this, and it's not random. And the more that I look at events that there's no way anybody could have predicted this happening, yet that was the storyline of the chart, I have to say, wow, something's going on here, and I am bound and determined to connect with that which is working, high benevolence energy, and embrace the darkness to understand its purpose and its place, and not reject, but integrate and balance. If I can help you in that journey, it would be an honor. That's what I do best. My heart is very impassioned to see people find out who they are through their own eyes and understanding by analyzing the chart, analyzing their transits, and then also, doing other divinatory work, if you want to call it that. I call it intuitive work. I think that's the newer name, where we're actually just looking at symbols and archetypes and sitting, and psychology is really beginning to embrace these tarot and oracle cards as more of a personality wheel to understand, hey, what's really going on at root levels, where I can change, use the solutions that are presented, and implement a much more grounded and holistic life that embraces body, mind, and soul. Blessed be.